Hello, everybody, and welcome to the One Fear Per Year podcast. I am joined by Carol Williams. Carol, thank you so much for being here today with me.
Well, thank you for having me before you rush off to your most exciting stuff.
Oh, yes, work. So thrilling. And this is going to be an amazing interview. I know it already, just because this is take two. Fun fact, have already done this interview, and then I didn't record it. So we get to chat again, which I'm really excited about.
Yes, me too. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So first of all, tell everybody what it is that you do currently.
Sure, yeah. Currently, I am the only paid employee of the Beacon of Light Center, which sort of the umbrella is to spread love, light, and joy to the world. And, part of doing that is we've got to face our fears, right? So the fears that I help people face, and my specific thing, like the little thing I'm doing right now, which is actually kind of a big thing, is really supporting mid-level coaches, females that are in like their 50s, 60s that want to level up without burning out. They want to still have their life. And what I love about that is that the work is working through the fears behind the scenes, and the result is the light of the world shining bigger and brighter.
Ooh, that is beautiful. So you said to level up without burning out. What
Yeah.
are some of the fears behind those women or those of us who can burn the candle at both ends, so to speak? And so they're very focused on leveling up, but they will or do burn out.
Yeah, usually it's people that have come close to or have gotten singed before. And I believe that most of the time we teach what we most need to know. So, that happened to me a couple of years ago after being many years in business, kind of being, do you remember Elastigirl? The Incredibles Elastigirl. She like
Yes.
was the mom that I used to be Elastigirl. So, but what I've realized is that I've gotten older. I'm not that anymore. And so now I'm very cautious of, all right, if I want to expand my reach, how much capacity do I have? So, I think your question had to do with like, how do I know I might be burning out? Was that the question?
It was more kind of the fear behind that. What are we
Fear
so
behind.
afraid of that we push the go, go, go so much without the pause and the,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. The fear is that, I've got to, it's a recording in our head. I've got to keep going. I've got to do this because I'm a hard worker, because I got to stay relevant. If I stop, then, I might never get back up. Might not make enough money. Um, it's maybe a people pleasing. I saw you had a book about people pleasing, but if I don't do this, then I won't be seen as good or relevant or professional or whatever we might be seen as, right? So the fear behind it would be I just won't make it unless I keep going at this rate. But that
right.
slowly starts killing them.
And kind of that fear of not being good enough is what I've seen is at the very deepest levels, this value, this worthiness concept. How do
Mhm.
you help your own clients, and what do you do for yourself to uh, to let yourself know that you are good enough without the achievements per se, like that kind of a thing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm getting more and more into the divine feminine. And I just about almost close to 2 months ago now on my birthday, I led a circle. And it was all women. And during the circle, I did a rose ceremony. And what I love about the symbolism of a rose is that a rose doesn't do anything except for smell good and bloom. And we did this whole ceremony around we are okay exactly as we are. And we, as the feminine, do not have to go running and chasing all the time, relentlessly. Now, do we have to do the steps as business owners to, you know, continue to have our business be relevant and keep up with things? Well, of course we do, because we're not flowers. We're flowers, but we're not flowers that way. So it's interesting, both can be true. But I feel like the more I talk to people, the more I bring in clients who relate to this, the more I realize that feminine business leaders are not meant to be on the schedule that their masculine counterparts are. And so then we can leave our fear behind, right? Because we're acting in concert with our values and who we are as women leaders.
Ooh, it just reminded me when you were talking of this integration, so to speak, of um, the masculine and the feminine, because we all have each in us. But I think in business, a lot of times the masculine tends to override. So then, as feminine business owners, we feel like, oh, we got to keep up with the masculine energy instead of, like you're saying, bring in that beautiful feminine energy that we have and work from that place of authenticity, and that in and of itself gives its own unique value, I
Mhm.
would say, to people. And this is an interesting point of integration or balancing, because talking about the excelling at something, but then the burnout. What have you used in your own life, or what have you told other people about to try to integrate, balance the all of that, the masculine and feminine energies, as well as the like go get 'em, hustle mentality, and then the slow down and breathe and relax and take care of yourself mentality?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's simple, but it's not easy, right? So the first thing is determine your non-negotiables, right? What are your non-negotiables? Like, is your non-negotiable that you don't start work until such and such time in the morning, whatever that is? Is your non-negotiable that you take a 20-minute walk in the morning? Is your non-negotiable that you do yoga 3 times a week? Like, what are your non-negotiables? Because what that does is that helps, with capacity. One time when I was going through my process, and I've been going through it probably my whole life, but the last 5 years or so, I started making like a little laundry list on my notes app on my phone, and it said signs I am overworking myself. So I was trying to be my own best coach, although I did have a coach at the time was really helping me out with it as well. But it's all about observing how you are when you're at your best and when you're not at your best, and then having some mechanism, coach, friend, mastermind, the mirror, your spouse, whatever it is, or all of those things, to be able to just raise the flag when things are going wrong. Because the fear, going back to the fear, those fears come in when we haven't given ourselves what we need for our non-negotiables, because the fears live in us and they're never going to go away, right? Come on. Like, I believe oftentimes that I'm not good enough. Because I feel like we all do. I think I heard Oprah Winfrey one time saying, like, everybody has imposter syndrome, and if you don't, you're not rising to the level that maybe you're worth, right? Because you have to feel a little off balance so that you can then grow, right? So it's a trick.
I really appreciated what you just said about non-negotiables. I think that is really key to then being able to make the choices that best serve us. And like you were saying, the observing, having awareness of what we're doing, who we are, how we show up without judgment, that's helped me a lot in my life. The non judgmental awareness, the more compassionate awareness. Oh, this is why I feel insecure. This is why I feel paralyzed by fear. And then what do I need to do? What are my non-negotiables to be able to start to validate myself, walk through fear myself, do all of those things? That's so good. Do you have any story in your own life where there was something that you were truly scared, like the fear of whatever, failure, criticism, judgment, not being good enough, those kind of things came up in your life, and what did you do? Tell us about it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, like where do I start? That describes almost all of my life since I got divorced and I left him in 12 and I got divorced in 13. The first fear I had was how am I going to make it on my own? And how did I deal with it? Um, I asked for help. I had to get humble, like really humble. And the first question before I decided to leave, because it was a toxic relationship, was I had to I had to take my self-definition, which was one that I had kind of held since about, I'm not kidding you, age 16, that I was a strong, independent woman who could do it all on her own. And I had to say, I need help. And I asked my dad, we went on this trip and I've been thinking about it and thinking about it. How am I going to do this? Gotta get with kids and how, like, it was so hard. And so I said to him, I said, I'm thinking about leaving him. I said, if I need to, can I ask you for some support? I might need a little financial support until I get back on my feet. And it was terrifying for me to ask that. And I asked it because I realized that the cost of staying the same was far greater than being humble and asking for help. This is one example.
Yes, that moment almost where the pain of the situation that you're in is worse than the pain of the unknown or asking for help or doing those things that make you uncomfortable. You and I are right around the same time frame. I was going through a divorce, and I can so relate to all of those fears. And for me, the help was a lot of therapists. I was like going on Groupon, like, what? I'll try anything. Because when you're in that amount of emotional pain, you also are pretty humbled and willing to maybe look in different areas that you hadn't before and really try to figure out what is actually going on. Um, and for women who have been through a divorce recently or going through a divorce, what are some, now that you're a decade or so, past that, what are some things that you would want to say to you? Let's say you're the avatar, like those many years ago. What would you say to you to encourage yourself?
Yeah, yeah. I would say you will be okay even if you don't think you will be. Keep reaching out. Gratitude. That's another thing I did. I took every night I had a gratitude journal. I had these 10 intentions that I would write over and over and over again. So I would say if you're going through a divorce, know that number one, it is totally normal to not be okay. and you're not going to be okay, and you're going to be up and down for a long time. And it's okay and it's understandable. That's one. Number two, do literally whatever makes you happy. You're probably so used to thinking about other people and how it's going to affect them that you probably, or at least if you're like me, you probably have totally lost touch with what you even want anyway. So find your own ritual whereby you can connect with yourself, whatever that may be. And for me, I was so lucky to have a very kind woman on the other end of an ad in the, not really newspaper, but more like this magazine. Um, she had a house on the water for rent, and I was like, I don't think I can do a whole year, but I can do a few months. And she let me stay. We did end up with a 9 month instead of, but that's a detail. So the thing I did for me was every morning I would go outside with my coffee usually and just sit and allow, like you have water behind you right now, it's very calming. I would let the calm of the water envelop me, and because I wasn't super peaceful inside, so I had to let the outside peace be come into my inside peace. And that's just one way. And so my point being is really we don't often even know what we need, and that's okay. Just try something. Just try something. But please let it not be anything that's super duper toxic. And I know you know what I mean. Like, go be a chain smoker and drink, 2/5 of whiskey and almost kill yourself. And, I mean, whatever. But, be kind to yourself. Like, you don't have to be a teetotaler, but don't try to not drown yourself with addiction, right? Because then that tips the scales the other way. And people do that. I mean, it's hard, right?
It's the numbing. So when you experience that amount of pain, you truly do have a choice whether you want to go, you know what? This is so painful. I remember moments feeling like I was drowning, suffocating, just how can I even survive this? But making that choice of I'm going to dig deep and I want to figure out what that pain is and how to allow it to move through and out of me, as opposed to I'm going to keep stuffing it and I'm going to keep moving. Totally two different options. Uh,
Right.
and so, yeah, to your point, choosing the option that may feel a little more difficult in the moment because you're triggering stuff, you're bringing stuff up, but that's what kind of has to happen to actually clean out the wound. Just,
Right.
I love viewing it as an actual physical wound, the emotional wounds, because if you cut yourself, you're not just gonna like, or you could, some people do, throw a band-aid on it or whatever. And because they think, oh, if I really scrub in there and get all the bacteria, I mean, that's just gonna hurt. So I'd rather I
Right.
cover it up. I love I love that visual. For me, that's all.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The other one, I'm sure you've heard, feel it to heal it, and it's work. And let's just say out loud that doing that work is no joke. So in the meantime, you still gotta like, what do I need? Do I want to get some, expensive teas? Do I want to have people around me? Do I not want to have people around me? Movement. My big thing was movement, dancing. Like it's not for everybody, but it's for me, because to me, it's like dancing just allowed me to just get whatever's in there out. I became a runner, you know what I mean? I did half marathons. It just, a lot of people I know that are going through divorce or loss of something, they'll start running. And a nice side benefit of that is your form gets really, your body gets really super healthy. And when we're feeling good physically, it's easier to feel good mentally too. And that keeps the fears away too, because our mental is in a better place.
Absolutely. And we are holistic beings, mind, body, spirit,
Yeah.
a unit. So to do that helps with everything else. Oh my goodness. So we've run out of time, but one last question, Carol, and thank you for your wisdom and just sharing your heart with us. So good. Is if you were to give me an opposite word of fear, something, just one word that's completely opposite for you, what would that word be?
Love.
I love me some love.
Just like Marianne Williamson from Fear to Love.
Yes, because we're living in one or we're living in the other. And every day we get to choose which one, every second of every day, actually. So, Carol, thank you so much for being with us. And everybody that's listening, Carol and I want you to know that if you're feeling that despair and things have flipped on their head, that there is hope. We are living proof of that. And go out there, do the hard work, walk through those fears, and truly you will find treasures, treasures that you never even anticipated right on the other side. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Thank you.